Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Alright guys, and welcome back to another episode of All Gen Gamers. This is episode 54, part 2 of the two-part saga. I don't know what you want to call it.
Great intro.
The epic two-parter All Gen Gamers. But yes, if those of you don't remember, we're actually recording this back-to-back with our previous episode where we were joined with Chris when we talked all about Killer Instincts. This episode, I'm once again joined by Jason, the EMU review Heine. What's going on again, Jason?
Hey, what it do?
As well as John Gamester81. What's up, John?
Hey, Pete, what's going on, man?
Yeah, that sounds just like me. And Johnny, the Happy Console Gamer. What's up, Johnny?
It seems like a week ago, but it was only a minute ago.
And for this episode, we are joined by Tonyippee.
Yippee T.
Basically the gaming community. What's up, Tony? And for those of you that aren't aware of your channel, why don't you tell them a bit about what you do on YouTube and where they can find you?
I'm a pretty typical collector, just collect video games and sort of make little documentaries about it and show my pickups and give my impressions of the games and stuff like that. You can find me on YouTube under Tonyippee, and that is TONYIPPEE.
How long you been doing YouTube, Tony?
I honestly don't know, about a year and a half, I think, maybe 2 years. I could be wrong. But I've been watching you guys' videos for a long time. I think I came across Johnny's channel first, and then he shouted out Pete, and I found my way to John Gamester, and then found Jason through the podcast.
It is still a small community. It really is. That people can find each other that easily through YouTube. That's awesome.
It's always interesting to hear where people, hear about it.
Hey, I got a story. You guys will love this.
Sure, go for it.
I'm in game deals the other day, and this kid's at the counter, and he's buying a game, and he's looking at me. He's probably about 12 years old, and then he finally comes up to me and he goes, "You have a show on YouTube?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, and then he doesn't know what to say, so I have to kind of like fill everything in. I'm like, how did you find out about the show? He's like, "Oh, through Luke Morse." He's like, "I really love his channel." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." He's like, "Yeah, you should really subscribe to your channel." That was pretty funny, actually. I'm like, "Hit the road, pal. Hit the road. I got time for you around here."
Well, that reminds me of, I'm not sure, John, if you mentioned this on episodes where I wasn't on, but in the most recent episode of Game Chasers with Captain 8-Bit, they went to visit that guy's house, and they're like, and you were with them, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I know you. I watch your channel." I just thought that was the funniest thing. It's so ironic because 2 times in their show, people have known you.
Yeah, and because it was pretty funny. I was like, "Wow, you watch my stuff." You don't really think about it. And it's nice to put a face to the name of people, I
mean, how awkward was that, though? You're walking into this stranger's house. He's selling games out of his house. Yeah. And then, how awkward is that for him, having somebody that he's watched on YouTube that knows that you know everything about everything he has in his house, and he's trying to sell you shit. He doesn't want to overprice or undersell.
What kind of shit you got in here,
funny.
buddy?
And for those who haven't seen the video, it's Captain 8-Bit on YouTube. It's Game Chasers episode 6, and I was fortunate to be on there, and really good group of guys. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of like American Pickers, but for gaming. So they go
Their
around.
show's coming a long way. It's
coming a long way.
We always talk about it off air. We're always, every time they put out a new episode, we usually talk about it real briefly, and we're always so floored and impressed by what they're doing. So we highly encourage you guys to check it out.
It's funny because we say this time after time, but I've met a lot of people on YouTube, just the travels they do, and it seems like when I meet people in person, I known them for years.
Yeah,
just by watching, Johnny, when I first met you, I felt like I knew you for a long time.
I felt like we'd had sex many times before.
We had, but that's just beside the point, So, and then Pete, same thing with you, man. PAX East and seeing you there.
It really wasn't awkward meeting.
It wasn't awkward at all.
YouTube. That's why talking about PAX. This is going to be one of our final episodes. We're going to record, I think, one more episode before PAX, but we're because of this break we're going to be taking, we're nearing PAX. We're just about a month away.
It's right around the corner.
Imagine what it's going to be like. The 4 of us are meeting up, but then not only that, but tons of people from the community are meeting up. But the thing is, it's probably not going to be that weird because it feels like we all know each other already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll have lots of time to have sex as well. You know, me and Games will show you how to do it. You know, it's all good. Well,
Hey, I want to just an update to that. I booked my ticket the other day, and John, I got on the same plane you're on.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I was asking John that, and because I invited you. We have a big dinner thing the Thursday night, which Pete, you have to actually say that you're coming to.
Which I don't even know.
Some Facebook. Okay. Go to events. I think it's called like something like dinner or something or other. You'll see a picture of John eating poutine. Games eating poutine. That's the picture I used.
How many people are going already?
Yeah, we get about 18 people showing up for dinner on that.
How the hell are 8? You know, it's going to be who knows more than that. But how are all those people going to gather together and eat?
Yeah, they can
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah,
it's huge in there. Yeah.
So
I'm going to book it. I'm going to try to book it in the next couple of weeks. And if they can't, I'll just change the restaurant. We'll go somewhere else. I'll talk to some people who are Seattleites who really know Seattle, and we'll walk down the street. We'll go somewhere else.
There's a good microbrew down the street too. If you like that kind of thing. I forget the name of it, but it's right down the street, walking distance.
Was that where you went to get that beer that night?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, how far is the Cheesecake Factory from
across the street
or the Sheraton?
Across the street,
like kitty corner.
Okay, that would be the most convenient.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
why I was thinking. Yeah, and it's not stuff for everybody, as we talked about.
Now that you're announcing this,
I've just recently been there for the first time. Actually, the Cheesecake Factory, and I remember you guys mentioned it on the show. You are right, Johnny. That shit has the most epic menu. It's the hugest thing I've ever seen. It's funny. I've been there twice. I've ordered the same thing
That's
twice.
That's what she
said.
What did you have? What did you have when you went?
It was like a sandwich, grilled chicken with avocado on like some kind of garlic bread or some shit. I don't know, and then I get a piece of cheesecake, $8 cheesecake every time I go there.
Yeah, they get you with the cheesecake. Cheesecake's like $80, you know.
I'm so jealous. You guys get all these cool things. You get to go to PAX and all that. We get.
Oh, shut up! You get Summer of Sonic. That beats everything.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, I guess.
You'll have to, Tony. You'll have to talk about all the events that you've been to. That'd be really interesting.
That's pretty much it. To be totally honest, I'm going to Game Fest this year, later on this year, which is sort of like a festival of gaming, I guess. And they're going to show us some new stuff. I'm hoping I get to play the new PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita, or whatever it's called. Horrible name. But that's pretty much it. But Summer of Sonic was awesome. Apart from some of the guys there were like, there's been a fan and then there's
explain what Summer of Sonic is. People that don't know.
Summer of Sonic is basically the 20th birthday sort of celebration for Sonic, and a lot of big guys were there, like Yuji Naka, Takashi Iizuka, and Jun Senyo. I don't know how you pronounce his second name, but he done basically all the music since like Sonic 3, or the best music if you ask me. And they were really nice. They were really down to earth people. They were doing a lot of sign-ins, especially Jun. He was just walking around with his guitar, like taking photos with people. And
that's cool.
Considering how many people they must meet, like fans and stuff, you think they would be annoyed. Like, they were just totally down to earth and talking to everyone, signing anything anyone passed to them. They're really nice guys. Apart from Yuji Naka, I think he was a bit annoyed because he had like 4.5 hours of straight signing and he just looked so tired. And
well, no, you know why he was annoyed, right?
I don't.
I actually do, because you didn't bring any Phantasy Star games for him to sign.
As soon as you like messaged me, did you have any? And I was like, oh shit, I don't. So
after that, I was scratching my head. I'm like, he doesn't have a Phantasy Star game. He has no Phantasy Star games. You have to go out there and find something.
The thing is, I've played them on like collections and stuff, but I've just never actually bought them. And I'm one of the biggest RPG fans I know. So
wow.
It's quite shameful.
Yeah.
So, Tony, where do you get your games in England? Like, what is it? Are there EB games, or where do you prefer to get your stuff?
Used to have EB games, but it got changed to Game. It's just called Game now, which I thought was pretty retarded at the time. But yeah, it's just Game. And then I was like, okay. And then they got pretty big once they changed the name, and they bought out Game Station, which I actually used to work for a little while. And it's pretty cool. Get to take home the promotional items and stuff. But yeah, I sometimes get my games from there, depending on whether the staff look like, I don't know. In Game, the staff is more sort of people that have just come out of college. They're trying to get their first job and they don't know anything about games.
Right.
And then Game Station is more of these sort of actual gamers that play, not just like, nothing against Call of Duty players, but not just Call of Duty. They actually play like RPGs and other sorts of games. And that's normally where I go because I can hold a conversation with them. And like, if I buy a game, they'll actually talk to me and about the game. Say, I played that. It's a really fun game. I can hold a conversation with them, which is it's nice to have a mainstream store that has down to earth stuff. And I've gone to many of them all over, like the UK. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't have that in North America.
They don't exist.
You got 48 hours, bitch. Your reservation.
Jason, we have an announcement to make for everybody listening. Jason has decided what his weekly podcast segment is going to be.
Whoa.
And that is Tales of GameStop. Weekly Tales of
Oh, nice.
Beautiful stuff.
I like it. And Pete, what's yours?
Actually, no, I'm not even kidding. I found out what my segment on the show is going to be.
Okay.
And I'll get into that later, but I posted a topic on the forum, but I've decided, I'm like, okay, what the hell can I do on the show that would make it easy for me to talk about, briefly once a week. That kind of ties in the games. That's kind of around the schedule that we have where we record a week in advance and release a week later. So eBay segments are gone. But I'm like, one thing people always ask me for on YouTube and Facebook and everything are game recommendations. So I figured, I'll create a topic on the forum. People can ask me for specific game recommendations to be specific as they can in terms of what kind of game they're looking for. And I can give them a quick recommendation on a game, and then you guys can chime in too, so it can bring in, possibly
Love it, man. Nice.
little conversation. So that's what I planned out. So
Wait, does this
I'll do
mean
that later in the show.
Does this mean that Jason has to go to GameStop every week?
I was just gonna say, like we had joked about this, and it's actually kind of a good idea. Only problem is that means I have to go to GameStop to get these stories, and I don't go there a lot because they just fucking piss me off.
Well, now you will.
You
Now
have to
a mission.
You have to tell your story though about what you told us on your live stream.
Oh yeah, I got a story, all right.
Jason, remember how we were talking about the other episode about those hidden spyglasses?
Oh my god,
that's what you should fucking do.
That would be epic.
Bring in hidden
god.
dude, and just post that shit on YouTube.
Yeah, because we were talking about something like that, or maybe I can incorporate like something with Steam, talking about that. But I think they're all really good ideas.
I like the GameStop idea.
GameStoppers.
You could be our like secret ninja who goes in there and just like asks specific questions to see what they will say. You kind of like
oh my god, no, dude, think of this. We could put a post and have people write in the forums of what I should go in and ask them at GameStop.
Oh, it's
Hidden
brilliant.
camera.
And then I go in and ask it, and then we hear what they say.
You know what your nickname
I
could be?
talk about it.
You could be the Gamestopper.
Oh!
This is legendary stuff right now. I love this idea.
Oh my god.
Dude, this could post this shit on your YouTube channel too.
Yeah, it actually could go over really well. I can almost guarantee it.
I can imagine the videos getting taken down though.
Yeah.
By GameStop, but then that would be epic.
That would be awesome. I can only hope that GameStop would come after me, and I'll fucking wring their necks.
But you could just talk about it. I think that's what you should do. I think it'd be more interesting for you to describe what happened rather than a video. Yeah, you would be taken down in 10 seconds. But
well, I already posted a video of like my GameStop experience on my pre-order.
Yeah,
where I was just talking about it.
It got huge hits.
It blew up. It got a lot of hits and a lot of people talking who are on a similar boat. And I think. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea.
I think everybody would love it.
Yeah, at least just to discuss it, talk about it.
Yeah.
But
I love it. Is EB Games that bad over there? Is it good or?
It's bad. Tony, man. Well, we don't have EB Games, but got GameStop merged here, so there's no more EB Games here. But yeah, GameStop is. I mean, I shop there every once in a while. I usually get used games there, but yeah, the customer service isn't great, and even the employees there. And no offense to anyone who's listening who works at GameStop, but just from my personal experience, they're not very knowledgeable and helpful.
Yeah. It's the same here.
Well, how about this? Let me just throw this out there. If there's any listeners out there that have worked at GameStop for a long time and you have quite a bit of awesome stories to tell us, let us know. Send us a message on Facebook or something, and who knows, maybe we'll bring you in for a future episode to talk about it.
You can talk to the GameStopper himself.
I've got, through my work, from like what I do in my real job, we've done actually a lot of work with GameStop company. So like on my cell phone, I actually have the number to like one of the vice presidents of GameStop. But I doubt I would ever be able to get him on the podcast and talk about it.
Oh my God. I don't think you should.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much hassle some of the employees get though. I've seen people come in returning games that are like an 18 that got sold to their 15-year-old child or something, and there's no way any of us would have ever sold it. And then the mum would come in, who obviously bought the game, but making out that her child didn't like it, or I don't know, her child pissed her off, so she wanted to return it or something. But they would come in, they would literally yell at you and start screaming at you and stuff like that. Sometimes the people that come in, the customers, can be quite mean to the staff as well. It's not just the staff.
No, I think we all completely agree with you. Yeah,
it's per situation too. I don't like to stereotype. I don't like to say everyone, is not knowledgeable or anything like that. It's just based on some experiences by experience. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's some of the people that work there are okay. It's just the minority are absolutely brain dead as far as it goes, as far as gaming goes.
Well, GameStop really, honestly, they pay their employees peanuts compared to what.
Yeah.
It's really it's really too bad because they're a big corporation. They kind of lose sight of it's all just numbers to them. They don't really. It's really a shame. So
it's about money. It always is.
It's always the same over here. It's like pretty much minimum wage, and the hours are terrible. So,
hey, Tony, how much is minimum wage in England right now? The pound. How much is it?
It's £5.70. I want to say.
That's about $12 Canadian.
It changes all the time. It changes a lot. Yeah.
That's what here? I don't know how to convert it.
But the cost of living, is a lot more, I would think, in England than it would be in here.
Some of the houses over here, just to get a house, is ridiculous. And then I look at the prices in America. I could get a house twice the size for the same money. It's annoying.
Tony, you can get in Phoenix. You can get a nice, decent-sized house for $150,000.
Oh yeah,
easy. Easy.
My house is $220 at the moment, and it's not big at all. I would love to. My plans are to move over to America eventually, if not Japan. But that's when I'm older and
it's just hard. Just finding the right job for you over here, right?
Yeah, and also the healthcare over there kind of scares me. I get injured daily, and I get free healthcare. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, come to Canada then. That's because Tony, I don't know if you know, but I'm from England as well.
Yeah, I do.
And all of that. So I'm actually still a British citizen living over here.
Yeah, I remember you saying you still have a British passport, right?
Yeah, I still got a British passport.
He just lost his accent over the years.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I think I described why I lost my accent, right?
Because you were ashamed of it.
All that anal intrusion that you had.
The anal intrusion made me I'm like, bloody hell, I can't lose this accent. I'm getting raped all the time. What ended up happening is that my parents emigrated from England, and I was 8 years old. Or sorry, 9 years old. And I came to Canada, and there's all these, to me at that time, sounded like American accents. And I was bugged so much about my accent that I made myself lose it in, I think, under a year. I'd work on losing it every day. I try to talk American or Canadian. I did it subconsciously, though. It was really
strange. I actually have a friend that admires Americans a lot, and he's changed his accent. He sounds like them, and he lives here still. But
really?
I get bullied by a lot of the American YouTubers. I've got some hate on some of my videos about my accent, but
that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's stupid.
Yeah, British accent is awesome. So that's
cool.
the end of story.
I like that.
If you get in Canada, you get so many women with a British accent. It'd be, oh, he's bloody British. I love him.
The thing is, we have a scene really common with our broken English, which is ironic considering we're English, and or we sound really posh. And either way we go, we get the piss taken. But it's funny. I don't really mind.
It's like Steve Benway. I could sit and listen to him talk for hours.
Right. Or chipsters.
Whereabouts in England do you live, Tony?
South of London. It's a place called Croydon. And it's funny because you guys say that England, well, I know you're just messing around, but it seems like quite a posh place. I've nearly been stabbed a number of times. I've got into numerous fights.
It's a nasty place, England. Yeah, it's a nasty place.
It is, yeah. And people think that I'm a calm person. I don't start or stare at anyone, but people just literally will start on you for no reason here. It is quite annoying. It's especially when you've got kids and stuff, and literally, especially in the London area. Anyone who's listened to the podcast who lives in London will tell you that people around here are so rude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true.
They don't carry guns everywhere.
Yeah, they don't carry guns. I remember I went back to England when I was about 21, and I lived over there for about a year. And I remember the first 2 weeks, I get on this bus. And, hey, Tony, what's so hilarious is they're actually playing on the bus on little TVs. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, am I ever back in England? But anyways, that's not my story. They stop at this bus stop, and these 3 kids get on, and I swear the kids are they're like 7 or 8 years old on their own. They get on the bus and they sit across from me, and I'm sitting there, and I was talking to a friend of mine in England, and we're talking on the bus, and all of a sudden they go, hey you, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, are you a Yank? I'm like, no, and I'm thinking, holy, these kids were talking like they were like 25-year-old tough guys.
Yeah.
And like, you're a freaking Yank, are you? You're not from here? I'm like, no, I'm just on the bus. What the fuck do you want? Like, what? Gonna get raped Canadian style? Get out of here. I couldn't believe how cocky the kids were. And if you can imagine that so many kids are that cocky, wait till they get to adult status.
That's the thing.
That's not all of England, but still, yeah.
So a lot of the adults, there are some that are idiots, but a lot of them normally learn their lessons because when they're young and they start these older people, they normally get the crap beaten out of them, and then they learn by the time they're older that they're not that tough. I've seen that happen quite a few times. Like some of the people I used to hang around with when I was little were like really rude and in your face, and now they've grown up to be some of the most humble people I know, and they're quiet because they've learned their lesson.
So Tony, what do English? What do they think about the American accent? What are their thoughts about it? They like it? They hate it? They think it's annoying? What's your overall? Honestly, I don't.
Honestly, I really haven't heard any. I think it's because most of the people that I talk to now are gamers, and a lot of us watch YouTube videos, and the American accent, I don't even realize that anymore. The people that I talk to, at least, they don't seem to say anything about you guys that's negative, apart from the whole fat jokes about McDonald's and stuff like that. That's pretty much the only thing I ever hear. And people make jokes about friendly fire as well, saying that you guys shoot yourself in the army and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny. It kind of depends. There's a lot of all over the U.S. There's different accents. You got New York, you got Boston, Texas, y'all. They kind of slur words and.
I like this southern accent. It relaxes me. I don't know why.
It's funny. I was marketing once in Georgia, and it was funny because I was talking to some guy. He's like, some chick. She's like, "Slow down, son. You're speaking too fast for me to understand what you're saying. I do declare." I'm like, "Whoa, what?" Nice. And then it's funny. It's really funny. So I mean, I go all over the country. You get the Boston yard. Your yard. Get some coffee. It's just you get some weird, funny accents. So.
That's another thing. We don't eat that many crumpets. You guys think we eat tea and crumpets? And
that's just a stereotype, though, right?
Yeah.
Johnny's the only one that drinks tea every day.
We drink a lot of tea. We do drink a lot of tea. Not me personally. I'm a coffee person, but crumpets. I barely even I never see crumpets whenever I go grocery shopping. I never see them.
What are crumpets? Like muffins, or what are crumpets?
It's kind of It's like a sponge that you put butter on. Basically, it's like
like an English muffin.
Yeah, kind of
English muffin. Okay, there's different words for some. I mean, I like how you guys say aluminum. It's pretty funny.
Aluminium.
Wait, aluminium. What, as in the metal?
It's metal.
Yeah.
I watch Top Gear. They say that all the time on there.
That's really big over there, isn't it?
Yeah. Or like the boot, the bonnet.
Oh yeah.
The cars, right? Boot. The trunk and the hood, boot, bonnet.
Or a cigarette's a fag, right?
The boots, that's right. The boot's like the back and the bonnet's like the front to us.
Right. It's cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe actually those terms are still used in England to this day. Do people still call it the boot?
Sometimes in the boot, or in the boots, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that funny, eh? Like, wow.
Hey, Tony, do they have do you have Cheez-Its over there?
Cheez-Its? We call them Whatsits. Is it like those little tiny sort of
cheese crackers?
Snacks? Yeah. Not crackers. No, they're more sort of. What I'm thinking of is like they melt in your mouth kind of thing. I can't really. Yeah. I think you guys call them Cheetos or something.
Cheetos, yeah.
Oh,
Cheetos
yeah, okay.
Cheetos,
the universal chip there. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I don't think we have Cheez-Its. We might do. We have a lot of import stores.
The square cheese crackers.
I'm sending you a link to the picture of it. Cheez-Its.
It's funny. My earliest memories of coming to Canada, and like to me, you have to think Canada was America when I came. I thought everybody in Canada and America, all they ate was hot dogs and hamburgers, because I thought all everybody ever did was have barbecues. Every time we'd visit anybody, we always barbecues. Oh, have another hot dog, have another hamburger, and have some peanut butter. Peanut butter was a really American thing. I remember thinking that was really weird. And grape juice, that was really odd.
Why do you think 30% of our population is obese?
Because they're hungry.
Like to eat.
Yeah. Seriously.
England has a lot of overweight people, though. England has a very, I'd say more people here are overweight than slim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They eat a lot of crumpets in England. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's funny because when I went to Italy, I've never been to England, but when I went to Italy, there are hardly no fat people there. At least where I was in Rome and stuff.
Oh, and you would think all they eat there is
Because of the sun.
spaghetti and starchy
Right.
food.
Well, no,
Right.
it's all about portion control because like you get a lasagna and it's a small ass like 2-inch by 3-inch piece. There's no bread, no all you can eat salad like you get here in the States. You know, because I go to Olive Garden, it's all you can eat bread and salad, and you know, it's all this carbs and shit.
There you go, fatty, load up.
Yeah, so,
Have some breadsticks.
that's funny. Is this a gaming podcast or are we just talking about?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Hey, Jason, can I borrow some money?
How much?
I want $1 million because you know what's going for $1 million right now on eBay?
What?
A signed copy of Tetris for the Mega Drive by the guy who created Tetris. Go on it real quick. Check it out. $1 million.
Oh,
Holy balls!
It has bids on it for
I'm
that.
No,
confused
it's a
here.
buy
Whoa,
now.
whoa, whoa.
Buy
It's on
now.
eBay?
Yeah, eBay.
John,
newly signed?
why is that so expensive?
Well, okay, just a little backstory of Tetris. There's a whole dispute. Atari had the rights to Tetris for the arcades, while Nintendo had the rights for Tetris for the home console. Atari also had the rights for the computers. But kind of in between that, Sega actually ported a version of Tetris for the Mega Drive. And it's a super rare version. And not only that, but this is an autographed copy of the guy who created Tetris. So is it worth $1 million? Absolutely not. But it's just funny that this guy is asking $1 million for it.
Isn't there a story about Tetris being created by like a German guy, then someone stole the idea from him or something, and then he got absolutely no credit for it?
It's a really it's an interesting story because it's kind of the rights and who owned it, and they got ported, and it's kind of I don't even know the details of it.
It's a long, complicated. I might do a video sometime explaining it, but it's super complicated. Basically, what happened was Atari and Nintendo basically reached out to this guy at the same time, and one was a handshake, one was a sign thing, and you know both of them thought they had the rights to do it because Atari was ported by Atari ported the Tetris version to the NES. You know, the black, unlight, copy, and Nintendo got pissed, pulled it off the shelves, and released the NES version. So it's the same game, different versions. But it's really fascinating, the whole story behind it. You know, there's lawsuits going back and forth between Atari and Nintendo. But yeah, this Mega Drive version, this is like a complete copy too, which is signed, which is really neat. But
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, not $1 million.
So-
Like,
Jason, can I borrow $1 million?
you better be prepared to do everything I want for the rest of my life for me.
and forever and ever.
Think of what else you'd like for $1 million other than a freaking game.
If I had $1 million, I'm telling you right now, it would not be buying this.
No.
I was thinking about selling one of my signed Sonic things because I had 3, and I wanted to go to PAX Prime, but I didn't have enough money, and I thought, well, maybe next year I can go to some events in America. So I was going to sell one of my signed Yuji Naka things to help fund it, and I was wondering how much they would actually go for. I know a signed Dreamcast signed by Yuji Naka was I think it went for £5,000 or something, but that was also it was a rare one though. It was a 10th anniversary blue one with the sort of Sonic logo stamped on it.
Wow. Pete would know.
But don't forget, that was before he did this big signing, back when it was really hard to get stuff signed by him.
Yeah, but then I was thinking, okay, that's going to devalue that it's not the 10th anniversary Dreamcast. But then I was thinking, I've also got it signed by tongue-tied Takashi Iizuka and Jun. But then again, not that many people are bigger fans of them, so I don't know. Could go either way.
You've been to the States before, Tony?
No, I haven't. I actually haven't left England, which is really depressing. I would love to go there, but sometimes it feels like I've been there because I've seen so many videos and seen so many things. So
yeah,
I'd love to go to that.
Yeah, PAX Prime would be fun, man. Have you go? Be great.
Oh yeah, I really did want to go, but changing jobs and everything, I couldn't get time off because I'm new at the job. I can't just request time off.
That's
already.
an expensive trip too, right?
Very.
Wow.
I definitely want to go out there because you guys have some amazing stores compared to us. We have a few retro stores, but they're normally sort of back alleys, little stores that just have the odd couple of SNES games and stuff. And then I see you have rows and rows of NES games, and I just get so jealous. But the prices, I've seen some of the retail, like these stores that open up, they have like eBay prices over there, don't they? That's terrible.
Some stores,
some of them do, yeah. Some of them do.
Yeah, like as I say, the game deals that I go downstairs, they're incredible prices. They're really good. You know, John's been there. Well, you thought the prices were pretty good, eh?
Yeah, decent. Yeah, and not only that, but the people are knowledgeable, they're friendly, they're willing to help you.
Totally.
And you feel good buying. You feel good supporting a place like that because they're just good down to earth people.
I'm there like 3 times a week.
Yeah,
hanging out there. Yeah.
Speaking of game deals, Johnny, did you ever get Jen to listen to Orgy number 3?
You know, what was funny is we did that 50th episode, and I came on for a little bit of time. And I think you said, okay, we're going to play this clip now, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, somebody I don't really know texted me and said, like, they actually had my number. I said, I'm telling Jen that, you know, that you're having sex with her in the All Gen Gamers live, podcast. And I'm like, just sitting there, I'm looking down at my phone. I'm like, okay. Like, you know, he's like making such a big deal about it. And then Jen texts me and she's like, oh, what's this? I'm in the 50th episode. We're all having sex. I'm like, and I'm just like,
yep.
Yeah. So I ended the episode. I had to phone her up. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, it all came because that guy made it seem like such a big fucking deal. Made it kind of awkward. I'm like, no, it's funny. It's hilarious. Just listen to it. So I don't think she has listened to it yet.
I mean, I had no idea what it was. I just played it. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's like a really weird thing to do. Just snitching you up, making you look bad.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just trying.
She seems like the sort of person that could take a joke though.
Oh, she had no problem with it at all. I don't know. I'll actually have to go and see her reaction to it. I was talking to her today. Actually, I was actually down there for a little bit of time. So
I can't wait till the game deals party at PAX too, Johnny. That's gonna be sweet.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good times. Jen will be there. Everybody's going to be there. As I say, for dinner on that first night, the Thursday night, we got like 18 people. That's completely nuts. So, Pete, go and sign up for that.
Now that you announced it to everyone, we're going to have a lot more people showing up.
That's fine. Whoever wants to show up, they can come. But Absolutely. I'm booking it for like 20 people right now. With the amount of guests, the amount of people we have, it's going to be 20. So, I don't know.
I might bring
Who
Gary.
knows if tell me to fuck off, right?
I might bring Gary.
Yeah, the cat killer. Cat killer. I can't wait to see Gary again. Now.
Capcom announced the lineup for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Boycott.
12 new characters. I guess it's supposed to be disc. It's not even a downloadable upgrade. It's a disc. $39.99, I think, in November.
Of course.
I'm very fastly getting annoyed with Capcom. They cancel Mega Man, then they do this. Right. It just seems like they were bringing out the same game with like 50 different copies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
what it was, their deals. Now I don't know what their sales are, but I think that they weren't happy with their DLC sales for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so they're like, okay, let's do a Street Fighter here and just repackage it all as a new game, and they'll buy that. That's what I have a feeling.
Yeah, Tony, we had Rob on. We talked about the whole Mega Man thing. That would actually be 2 episodes ago now because we recorded all these last few days.
Night,
but, yeah, so strange, but yeah, it's I hate to say it, but I was actually in Game Deals and this guy came in and he was complaining. It was so funny. I wasn't saying a thing. He's like, "God damn Capcom!" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't." He's just a customer in the store. I said, "Oh, what's the matter?" He's like, "Oh, first they cancel Mega Man Legends, and then they're milking everybody in Marvel vs. Capcom 3." And I just kind of stood there and I didn't say a goddamn thing. I thought, "Isn't this interesting? This is just some random guy who walks into a game store and he's ranting." That's how upset people are right now. There's still a lot of upset going on. People are saying, "Oh, the whole milking thing," and people are upset. It's really interesting. It's actually happening. Purely randomly, nothing to do with. Just bashing Capcom. People just seem to be upset. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some weird, odd moves. It's just kind of weird.
Speaking of Capcom, I got quite upset last week. Yoshinori was in England, which is like the head guy for Street Fighter. And I went to meet, he was meant to be doing a meet-up with the 3DS. And I went to meet him and there was no more tweets updating where he was going to be or anything like that. I put myself in London so that when you're in London, it takes like 15 minutes to get to anywhere in London. And he didn't update any of the tweets, so I spent a whole day just hanging around waiting for him to show up, and he didn't show up. So I was kind of upset about that.
I remember, because you messaged me saying that you were going to go to that. and that's kind of exciting. But I wonder why he would do that. It's strange, eh?
The thing is, he seems like one of the nicest guys in the gaming industry. If you follow him on Twitter, he's so down to earth, taking photos of everywhere he goes with fans and stuff like that. He seems like such a nice guy. I don't think he did it to like spite anyone, but it was kind of annoying that.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
I spent the whole day out. Yeah. But hey, I found some good deals that day, so I was okay.
What did you guys think of this one, Pete? Maybe you were looking at this one, Chainsaw Lollipop. Have you heard about this game?
I saw it briefly on Joystick, but I didn't look into it. What is it?
It's by Grasshopper Studios, the guys who made No More Heroes and Killer 7 back in the day, and it's just interesting. It's like another zombie game. I know, but they always do something very different with their games, and they just announced this game, and it's a zombie hunting game. And you play some girl character, and I guess instead of blood, it's blood that comes out, but it's all pink. And they're going to use what was the term that they used? The enemies will spill pink blood all over the screen. The producer said the game will feature elements not found in any other zombie title. So that's coming out for the PS3 and 360. So that's kind of interesting. That's a game to kind of see which direction it decides to go. Kind of interesting. So kind of looking at that right now. I'm a big fan of. I'm always excited when a company does something different. I know it's another zombie hunting game, but I kind of expect something interesting from those guys. Who knows what they'll pull off.
When's it coming out, Johnny?
If they just announced it, so I don't think there's an actual release date. It's actually it's got a TBA to be announced, so at some point in the future.
I just remembered a game. It's being developed by like an indie developer. It's going to be released on the PC later this summer. Now get this, it's Team Fortress 2 Arcade, where it's going to be a 2D 4-player side-scrolling beat-em-up featuring all 9 of the Team Fortress 2 classes with all of their trademark weapons and attacks, and even right down to like the medic gets health regeneration just like he does in the game, and the spy can cloak and backstab, and all their little quirks. The engineers build turrets. It looks unbelievably fun and true to the actual shooter, and it looks
that sounds awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
Did you say that was going to be a side scroller?
Side-scrolling beat 'em up. So think like Golden Axe Streets of Rage, but with Team Fortress 2 characters.
That's bananas.
It's DLC. He said
it's going to be, it says here, Team Fortress 2 Arcade is planned to be released as a free download on the Eric Ruth Games website later this summer.
Free download. I wonder if it's like homebrew.
I hope it has nice sort of Castle Crashers sort of looking graphics.
It kind of actually looks not like Castle Crashers. It's obviously not that high quality art style, but it has a similar kind of look and feel to it.
Well, can't go wrong with free. So
yeah, definitely. Good, man.
Wow, it's crazy. Hey, have you guys heard of this game coming out called Dead Island?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
Kind of interested in that.
Great trailer when that came out.
Yeah, I'm really kind of interested in this, sandbox, open world, type of.
Who's developing it?
Techland. So yes, it looks pretty good, and what I also like, and that it's also going to be on PC, which I'm liking. So
goddamn,
I actually haven't seen any gameplay.
Shut up,
gameplay
Pete.
of it.
You be quiet over there. I hear you muttering.
The gameplay, it looks. It's basically a first-person game, so honestly the gameplay doesn't quite match the trailer. Obviously, the trailer, they kind of outdid themselves, but that trailer brought them a lot of attention. That's the thing. I think this game kind of would have went a little unnoticed if it wasn't for that one like walloping trailer that they put out there. Which, if people remember, it's the trailer that goes reverse in time with a little girl falls out the window and these zombies are attacking them up in their like hotel room or something, or their apartment. It was very powerful. The gameplay, supposedly from people that played it, it's a little. They're saying that the melee, because the game is focused around melee, it actually doesn't encourage the use of guns. They're in the game, but they kind of do it realistically. Like if you imagine a zombie apocalypse, there's probably not going to be guns laying around everywhere, like they are in video games. So if you do find a gun, it's kind of a rare occurrence, and the bullets are very limited. So they encourage the use of melee weapons. But supposedly, despite how focused this game is around melee, the melee weapons aren't packing the punch that they really should, according to what I've heard. So we'll see if they fix that. but it's going to have 4-player online co-op, I think.
That's the kicker. There's the key word there. 4-player online co-op.
Is it third person or first? Like
First person.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, I just thought I'd mention it. Kind of interested in that.
Hey, Pete, have you seen anything more in that Dogma game by Capcom?
No, I haven't looked into it, but I think last episode Rob mentioned it, or someone mentioned it, where they said
I think Rob mentioned it.
Yeah, he said that the frame rate was like 10 frames a second, and it wasn't.
Well, we haven't seen let's just wait.
I mean, who knows? You could have been watching a trailer that was on YouTube in a low frame rate. Honestly, though, I'm just looking forward to the games that are coming out this year. I'm not so concentrated on games coming out next year because I'm like that. I don't like to get myself hyped up for games that are a long ways away.
Yeah, I hear you, but I still get excited about it. I still any game in development that seems interesting or cool, I'm into, and that's something that's on. I don't know. I like the idea of being able to play at home, 2-player kind of a action RPG-esque type of game. There's not enough games like that to me. There can never be enough games like that. But hey, Pete, what do you think? I'm just left center here. This has been on my mind lately. What do you think about JRPGs? Are they? Do you think that they're kind of? I hate to use the word. I hate to say this. They're kind of dying a little bit. Now they're not dying on the DS and they're not dying on the PSP, but on consoles. Do you think that's kind of taking a bit of a backdoor these days?
I think they are a bit on the 360. There's really hardly any on the 360. Mm-hmm. When you think of JRPG on 360, what comes to mind? Lost Odyssey, Star Ocean, Eternal Sonata, Tales of Vesperia, and that's about it. And with the PS3, though, I have to say, even though I haven't really been buying many of them because I don't know, they're kind of expensive and they're a little quirky and out there where I'm not quite sure, how much I'd truly enjoy them. But PS3 has been getting a ton of releases from NIS and Atlas, such as Hyperdimension Neptunia, Trinity Universe, which I talked about and played. Yeah, Tony knows about that one. Supposedly he hates the game, but he beat it. And there's also Artanelico Quoga, which came out. And all these are in special editions. There's Atelier Rorona, and then they're coming out with a sequel to that, hopefully soon. All these games that are coming out on the PS3 and like these collector's editions. So honestly, I think the PS3, especially NIS and Atlas, they're the only two companies that are keeping it alive.
Yeah. Hey, this doesn't seem like this is like another. Sorry, this doesn't seem this is like another Lost Odyssey coming out or anything like that. I'm not going. Oh wow, that RPG is coming out by Japan, and there's not a lot these days. It doesn't seem so.
It seems like it's sort of they come out of left field. It kind of seems like they don't announce them quite ahead of time. They kind of just like, hey, this game's coming out in a couple of months. There you go. That's how it is with Atlas and NIS, it seems.
Yeah. Johnny, speaking of RPGs, I don't know if you mentioned this last night or not, but did you play Pure Solar?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay.
No. Okay. I threw it in the garbage afterwards. Was I supposed to play it? I think the garbage man is gone now. I think he's toast.
Oh, shit.
I mean, we don't want to hype you up to think this is going to be the godsend.
I know it is. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I know,
but I think you can appreciate it.
Yeah.
I struggle to play the game at times. It gives you no sense of direction, and it is a little bit buggy. No, but he's an old school RPG player anyway. He's played games that don't give you a sense of direction anyway.
There's one section in the game that a large majority of people got stuck on. I got stuck on it. I had to go on their forums and I had to ask them, and the damn developers are like, they're very non-direct on how to solve it because they want you to solve it on your own. And I finally got around to solving it, but it's a dungeon portion that is just, you would never figure it out. It is like so devilish that the design on it is flawed. It's a little too out there from what you would be expecting. I'll just say that. To advance through it.
You've made me want to play it now.
People that know all say hidden platform, and you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. No, I don't.
Yeah, the first boss battle, I got probably a couple of hours into it, and it couldn't get. I'll play it again, but
I was watching that.
Yeah, bullshit. I watched your video of that afterwards, watching you get owned by that thing.
I know the guy seriously owned me.
It took him like 30 minutes to find the potion shop.
I know, right? I'm like, yeah. Good stuff. Good times.
Yeah.
So
I
Tony,
forgot to say,
go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say you forgot to save the game as well, didn't you? So
I did. I didn't even start. I didn't even save the game.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I'll pick it up and try it again. But
Next year at 2:00.
Right. Exactly. So Tony, what have you been playing lately?
Quite a lot. I've been on a Zelda binge. I've been playing Ocarina of Time, the 3D remake. I 100% completed that. Got everything, like all the gold sculpturas and all the item upgrades and heart pieces and all that. And then previous to that, I was playing Twilight Princess, completed that 100%. And right now I'm playing Link's Awakening DX. And I put like 8 hours into that yesterday before work. And I just started playing Bastion today, which is...
Did you buy it, Tony?
Yeah, straight away. I've watched enough reviews and stuff like that to know it's my sort of game. Although I don't trust all the reviews on the internet nowadays, just the art style. Just as soon as I saw the art style, I wanted the game.
So this is the first game for the Summer of Arcade Xbox Live lineup, which for those that don't know, every year Microsoft releases like a batch of, I guess you could say, higher quality Xbox Live Arcade games. And this year, Bastion was the first. Other ones that are coming out that honestly I'm looking forward to a lot more are going to be From Dust, which is sort of the spiritual successor to Populous, which I've never played, but it's sort of a god simulator. The one that I'm absolutely most excited for is Twisted Shadow Planet. That looks sort of like a 2D shoot 'em up in the form of a Metroidvania game with a really, really unique art style that kind of resembles, I guess you could say, Outland meets Limbo.
What was that called?
And then Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. Definitely check that out. I'm telling you, it looks amazing. And then they're releasing some stupid Kinect game. See, the stupid marketing ploy that Microsoft is doing here is last year they did a thing where if you bought all the Summer of Arcade games, you got like 1,200 points, Microsoft points. This year, if you buy all 5 games, they're giving you a free game, which is Crimson Alliance, I think it's called. It's sort of like a hack and slash RPG, which I'm going to buy. But in order to get that, you have to buy the 5 games. But one of them is a Kinect only game. So you see what they're doing there. They're making you buy a game that requires Kinect. So too bad. Return my Kinect, so not getting that game, and that's Fruit Ninja.
So did I miss it? When did you return your Kinect?
Just the other day. One day before the return policy would have been out.
Oh, you were just this pissed off of this thing?
Well, I bought it for Child of Eden, and, it was because I played it at PAX for Kinect with Child of Eden, which was amazing. And I'm like, okay, I'm sold on Kinect. And then I get home, and I'm playing. I hooked it up first with Kinect. I didn't even think I'd ever play it with the controller. But then just the limitation of having to stand up, and I guess, I don't know, the lighting or something, I turned on like lamps on the floor. I tried everything I could. Once in a while, it would just not detect me, or just my setup, I'd have to turn my room around to have enough room in front of my TV to play this stupid thing. So then I'm like, all right, let me try it with the controller. And I was like, wow, this is fun with the controller. It's a lot faster paced. It's a lot more accurate, obviously. And it felt just like I was playing Rez, which was Child of Eden, so, this is the sequel to Rez. So I'm like, you know what? I'm having just as much fun playing with the controller. I bought the Kinect for Child of Eden. I don't feel like it's worth my $150 investment. There's no other games coming out on Kinect that interest me whatsoever, except for the Gunslinger, but, I can live without that. Or the Gunstringer, sorry, from Twisted Pixel Games. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get my money back, use that for PAX. That's $150 I'll be spending at PAX.
So Pete, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tony, but Pete, I've heard they're actually coming out with a device.
From Nyko. Mm-hmm.
For people who have limited space, they can hook up the Kinect, and it will be it will kind of adapt to smaller rooms. Yeah,
it's a camera lens that you hook on the Kinect from Nyko that will kind of, like you said, you can play it in a smaller space. It'll basically trick the camera into thinking that it's looking at you really far away when you're close up. But the thing is, it's releasing after I'd be able to return my Kinect. So I'm like, all right, I'll wait for the reviews on this thing. And if it truly works, I'll think about rebuying it. So for now, I'll get my money back. And if it works and people are saying, high praise for it, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
Strange that you should say you preferred a Child of Eden. Well, you liked it just as much as the controller. I find it much more responsive with the Kinect for some reason. I found with the controller, the target on the screen would move much slower than what it did with my hand movements.
I would kind of disagree with that. I felt it to be very fast with the controller, but don't get me wrong, it's very responsive with the Kinect. Like if you move your hand somewhere, it's gonna go there. But after when I got home with it, I did like a live stream and stuff, and my elbow was killing me, like my shoulder and my elbow, because in order to fire your bullets, you have to push your hand forward towards the screen. Oh my god, was my arm in pain, and I was just not into that.
I can only ever do like a level at a time, and then I end up switching to the controller. But I was going to sell my Kinect last week until I heard about all the like the new Halo game that's coming out that has some Kinect features in it, like speech and stuff like that. So I kept it for that, I guess. But other than that, I probably won't ever use my Kinect again. But my kids seem to enjoy it, so I'll hang on to it.
I mean, John, are you still using your Kinect?
They feel pretty connected to it, I guess.
Mr. Prince. It's been it's probably been a couple of weeks since I've played the Kinect. To be honest, I mean that U-Star 2 is pretty fun. It's like movie karaoke. They have different scenes. And it's cool as you can post like what's your video. You can upload it to like your Facebook and Twitter and stuff, which is fun. Good group game. But yeah, I haven't really played it much, to be honest with you. Star Wars Kinect, I'm not really sold on that. I think the controls are just they're kind of broken from what I've seen. You jump and it jumps like a second later, or you move your arm. It does not like true like timing.
It's not a 1-to-1 track.
It's not 1-to-1 track. Yeah. So they need to work out some things, but yeah, I'll hold on to mine. So
maybe if you could take your Wii Motion Plus adapter and plug that in the side of it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But sorry to get off track. I totally forgot we were talking about Bastion, which is basically a top-down, isometric, I guess you could say dungeon crawler, but it's so unique. It's unlike Diablo games, right, Tony? You can go ahead and explain what this game's about since you bought it.
It's dungeon crawler. I don't know. It is like that, but it's so simple. Like you won't get lost or anything like that. They actually have a guy, like a narrator in the background, that comments on everything you do. And there's like he has a speech for every single like possible situation. So you die by a specific monster, he'll say that monster killed you and how. And that's what I love about it. And if you ever get lost, the narrator will say like, as I can't remember the main character's name because I haven't played it for too long, but it says as you're wandering around. Kid. Yeah, Kid. If you get lost, he'll say he should head in this direction, but little does he know, and blah blah blah. It's just really cool.
Well, I was gonna say, like when I started the game, it's like you're the kid's laying there, like the narrator starts, and then you're like, okay, I guess I have to move my character. So it's like he does his narration, and then you move your character. He's like, the kid gets up and he starts to move. He wanders on without knowing what he has to do. The level
sounds
starts
annoying.
to come together. Yeah, and
it really isn't. It sounds like when you describe it, it sounds annoying.
And then like the enemies pop up and like you're fighting little enemies, and he's like, the narrator's like, he gets surrounded by whatever these things are called, and a big something pops up here and approaches, and like it's so unlike anything you've ever played before, having an entire game narrated for you. Now I don't know how annoying that'll get 10 hours into the game, but if it's all unique dialogue, I think it might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it because, like, as you guys always say, you don't have as much time now that you're older to actually play games. So the narrator guy actually makes it a lot, the game a lot more shorter because you'll know where to go all the time. But at the same time, it adds a lot of character to the game. So I really like it, and it's quite unique as well. I haven't heard of that in another game before.
Do you recommend it, Tony? Should I go on? Should I go and download it?
Especially for you because you like your. It's a little bit like ease in a way, like the sense of the combat, but I love it.
It's basically attack, defend. You have a ranged weapon. You can map different weapons to 3 different buttons, and there's a dodge
get
button.
A lot of weapons. I have about 7 already.
I think there's 10 in the game.
Oh wow! Okay, I'll go snag it.
Well, try the demo, Johnny. Because I'll tell you, the demo gave me a really good sense of what to expect. I mean, there's a lot of character customization where you can equip. I forget what they call them, but you can equip like different skills to your character, so you can kind of customize them and determine what weapon skills you want on certain weapons. It's definitely, I'll be honest, before downloading the demo, I didn't really think I was going to like Bastion, but then after playing it, honestly, I'm going to buy it tonight and play it some more. I'm really impressed, especially with the graphics and the music and just the overall presentation and the gameplay. It flows really well too. So
The thing is, the co-op would have worked really well in this game, I think.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I started it, I thought if you had a party with you at the moment and you all chose different weapon skills to go with, it would have been so much fun. But it is fun.
They would have lost the narration part of it.
Yeah,
Because that would
that would
work
have
with
been
many people. Yeah.
Or at least some mini games or something to get some bonus stuff that co-op mini games or something. That would have been cool.
But you know what? Don't forget, this was developed by a very small team of people. Only 5 people, I believe. Like the guy that did narration, they locked him in a closet with a microphone. Not even kidding. Like a closet with shit hanging all over, and just had him record all the lines for hours. I remember.
That's amazing because he has a line for everything, and the quality is amazing as well. His voice actually. He should be given other jobs. He should be the guy who announces new films coming out. His voice is really relaxing to me. I think he made the game for me, actually, a lot of it. The gameplay's good and stuff like that, but his voice is so calm and it fits in well with the environment. I don't know. It just seems to work with this type of game. I really like it.
I'm interested in this. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be sure because I'll get that, and then I definitely plan on getting From Dust, and then without a doubt, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. And then the other one that's coming out is a toy soldier game. It's a sequel to RTS with little soldier figures that I don't plan on getting.
What about Street Fighter Third Strike, the HD remake? Isn't that one of the well, it's not a HD remake, it's a re-release. That's my favorite Street Fighter.
I'm in too, Tony. I'm totally with you on that.
I built my arcade machine solely for that game. I love Third Strike. That's my favorite by far.
I know. I like the music. I like everything about it. I liked it that it felt so different than Street Fighter, but it was Street Fighter.
Hey, Johnny, do you think Capcom should come up with another alpha game?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh,
I would love that.
There was a tweet about that yesterday.
Was it?
Yoshinori said it's not someone said to him, is there any chance of being another alpha? And he said he basically on the lines, he said he's not going to rule it out. So it's still a possibility. It could come back.
They always say that. They never say never. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, we could possibly do that. You know?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. What else you been playing? Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
I'll talk about what I've been playing because I think last time we talked about this, I had to cut out early. So just real briefly, what I've been playing. Jason and I went to a swap meet, as we talked about before. I picked up some really cool games. I got Uniracers for the Super Nintendo. I know Jason's a big fan of this. I saw his review and stuff, but have you guys played this game for the Super Nintendo, Uniracers?
No, but that was the first video I ever watched from Jason.
It's a
Nice.
really fun game. You're on a unicycle and you go from point A to point B to do these stunts and stuff like that. And it's a really addicting game. Tony, have you played it?
No, I haven't. I was going to ask you what sort of game it is.
Oh man, you guys gotta pick that up.
You guys are missing out. Yeah, I paid $3 or $4 for it. I got it really cheap, and that's the thing about these swap meets, flea markets. You actually negotiate with pricings with the people. What else I pick up? I've been playing Alan Wake a lot. Still, I like it. It's a fun game. The camera angles are kind of weird because you're fighting these shadow guys. I know they're not really zombies, but they're these shadow people, and you have to light your light at them. But it's frustrating because you don't know if they're coming up from behind you or not. So a lot of times you're focused on a couple guys who are coming towards you, and all of a sudden you're getting mauled by these guys behind you. It's really frustrating. But have you guys played Alan Wake?
I really want to pick it up, really badly, but
I know it didn't get the greatest reviews, but I actually like it. It's very cinematic to a point. Kind of feels like you're watching a movie because there's different episodes and chapters, and when you start one, it kind of goes previously on Alan Wake, and it shows you kind of what happened before. Back. It's pretty cool. I've been playing that. What else have I been playing? I picked up today. I got in the mail. It's called the EverDrive 64, and it basically what it is. It's a flash cart that lets you put ROMs on your N64. So it's you put ROMs on an SD card, and you put the SD card in this cartridge, you plug it into your N64. So I've been playing basically I have games I already own, but it's nice to have all the games into one area, in one cartridge. So I played Star Fox for a little while, played Pilot Wings today a little bit. But it's cool. It's a really cool little cartridge. It's on StoneAgeGamer.com if you guys are interested and find out more. And there's other games I've been playing. What have I been playing? That's it. The rest will come to me. I've been playing more than that, but I can't think of the moment.
Just chime in. Yeah,
I will chime in. So
there was one thing I want to mention, and I really want to talk to Pete and Tony because it's probably a game that you're maybe interested in. That the demo was out, and that is Catherine. Have you guys tried that out?
Let me just say, I just bought and paid for. Well, didn't pay for, but I pre-ordered my special Love Is Over edition from Amazon.com.
Yeah, I have mine ordered pre-ordered.
Let me just say, I have not played the demo. Reason being is because someone was doing a JTV stream, some English guy that lives in Japan, and he was playing the demo for it. So I watched him, and he was explaining everything and whatnot and translating everything. So I kind of feel like I've already played the demo, and I know I'm going to buy the game anyway. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'll experience it fresh and new when I get the game when it comes out next week. But
I played it, and it's maybe I'm wrong here, but it's a puzzle game.
Yes.
That's what the entire just so the people out there know what it's about, because there's so much stuff about Catherine. There's so much anime cutscenes that when I walked in, I was like, "What is this game? Is it a simulation game? With some certain dream sequences with these puzzles?" No, it is a puzzle game with a story going on as well. But the puzzle is, I gotta tell you, it's tough. It's hard,
but it looks rewarding because you do I guess boss battles in the game. I guess they're not really battles, but you're running when you're going up the tower. You're trying to get up to the top of the tower while you're being chased by demonic monsters, and it just seems so not scary, but
it freaks you out.
It freaks you out.
I'm sitting there trying to get to the top, and I'm pulling this block, I'm pushing in this one, and I'm like, I finally keep getting to the top, and I keep fucking it up, and I'm like.
It seems like a game, though, that's rewarding when you get it down right, though.
It is, but I'm just saying these are my initial things. No hate here, but I found it difficult. I'm not puzzle. Rob will attest. I'm not a huge puzzle guy. I'm not huge into that. So I'm gonna get the game for collectible value because I like the artwork. I like everything about it. I like what it stands for. It's just the game I found difficult. Will I play it? Absolutely. Will I be any good at it? Probably not.
It's different from what I first expected, but like you said, it does have a light simulation kind of aspect to it, where you do have choices of dialogue to pick from. And I don't know I'm trying to stay away from spoilers because trailers and such are kind of spoiler heavy. But supposedly it's a love triangle thing between this one guy and his two girlfriends. I don't know the whole exact story.
Yeah, it's probably one in real life and one in some dream world, I guess. Yeah. I don't know either, so I'm speculating. There's
cheating that goes on. It's very provocative, and that's why a lot of people never thought it would come to America because it's very Pete, Japanese. Yeah.
Pete, when you get your copy, the Supreme Edition that you bought, which I bought as well, you have to open it up. You have to strip naked. You with me? You have to put it on the box shorts.
I'd be in line for that shit.
I'll be in line.
I'm worried it won't get a UK release because it's not on any of our store websites at the moment, which is really worrying. But I have a PlayStation 3, so I can just import it.
You could import it.
Yeah, I will definitely. That's probably your best
bet at this point. But hey, you guys are getting what game are you getting that we're not? Is it the last story or is it
Xenoblade?
Yeah, Xenoblade. Yeah.
And it seems like people are saying it's more likely that we're going to get the last story and what's the other one? The tower?
Xenoblade.
Pandora's Tower.
Yeah, Pandora's Tower as well. Yeah. I don't know. If I've said to some friends over there, I can get not brand new Wiis, they're used Wiis for £35. So if they don't get it, if anyone wants me to, I can.
I'll be in line up for that shit.
Yeah, I mean the shipping and stuff will be a bit, but it's still better than waiting forever.
How can you get it so cheap?
There's a store over here called CEX, which is people just trade in their stuff there, basically. Yeah. It's the biggest trade-in store around where I am anyway. And they have Wiis in there at the moment, my local one for £35, which is really cheap.
That's awesome. That's really cheap.
Yeah, I actually have 3 Wiis where I just keep finding them so cheap. So I bought one of each color.
You have the red one?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
mine's. Yeah. I did a review of that, and not even a review, an unboxing. It got something like 15,000 hits. That's pretty quick.
Let's get into our segments, guys, because I gotta jet out in about a half hour.
Why don't you do yours first, John?
Do mine first? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gaming Piece Theta.
Welcome to another episode of Gaming Piece Theater with Gamester81. Gamester, what piece of gaming history are you going to share with us today?
Go on to our forums, and you guys can find you can go on there and request to know more about Gaming Peace Theater. And today we're going to talk about the Wonderswan by Bandai.
Oh,
it was
beautiful.
introduced in 1999, and it was released in Japan, and it was discontinued in 2003. And it was created by a guy named Gunpei Yokoi. Does this guy's name sound familiar to you guys at all?
No, is it the Tetris guy?
It should. No, he's actually the guy who started the Game & Watch. He worked for Nintendo for a long time. Started the whole Game & Watch line for Nintendo. Actually worked on creating the Game Boy. Was a big part of that. He started the Metroid series. He went on to create the Virtual Boy.
Oh, geez.
Okay. And after he created the Virtual Boy, Nintendo let him go because the system flopped. He went on, Bandai hired him, and they created the Wonderswan. And the Wonderswan's it's a handheld, and it was competing with, and keep in mind, guys, Nintendo had like almost 100% of the market share for handhelds during this time, late 90s. I mean, Game Boy Advance was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a huge market share. But the Wonderswan actually took about 8% of the market, and it was doing fairly well. And the reason why it was doing so well is because they had huge third-party support. Squaresoft was a huge supporter. They ported a lot of Final Fantasy games on the Wonderswan, which is neat. And you get like really cool bundles, like Final Fantasy bundles. There's 3 different versions of the Wonderswan. You have your just a basic Wonderswan, which is it's just a normal one color, kind of like the Game Boy. They have the Wonderswan Color, and they also have a Wonderswan Swan Crystal, which is basically like the Color. It's the last model they made, but it's a little higher resolution graphics, and the gameplay, like hour-wise, like you can put like 30-40 hours on some batteries, which is not too bad.
Wow.
So it's a pretty cool handheld. A lot of the games that were released for it are in Japanese. There's only a handful that are actually in English. So playing like Final Fantasy in Japanese is a little bit confusing, but it's still a really cool handheld. And what makes it so unique is the design, because you have your A, B buttons, and then you have your 2 directional pads. You have on the left, one is above the other. So the whole idea was you can play the system both horizontally and vertically, depending on what game you want to play. So it's pretty cool. It's a really cool handheld. Never released in Europe. I don't think it was really released in North America either.
I always wanted it for that Final Fantasy port they had, which was a big time.
I actually see it over here sometimes.
It's a 16-bit console, very similar graphics to, I guess, the Game Boy Advance. But it was also a lot cheaper than Game Boy Advance. I think part of the reason why it really took 8%, which is not too much, but for considering Nintendo dominated the handheld market, it still does to a point. So that is the Wonderswan, and I know a couple people had requested that on the forum. So I don't have your names in front of me, but thank you for the question.
That's cool. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it's a cool little handheld, and you can get them really cheap. You can get them like on eBay. They're like $20, $30, not too expensive.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 2.5-inch screen.
2.5-inch screen.
Yeah, and 16-bit. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's funny you mentioned the Final Fantasy games, because when I bought my Wonderswan, I bought it for the Final Fantasy games, just like you said, Johnny, and mine came with Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 4. And the main reason I wanted it is because at the time we didn't have those Final Fantasy games in portable form over here. But I'm telling you, I tried playing like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 with in Japanese, and I'm like, I can't do this. I played it for like 2 hours and I was done. And I got it with Guilty Gear Petite, which is like a chibi version of Guilty Gear, and that was pretty fun. But the main thing I got it for was the Klonoa game, Moonlight Museum. I actually have Wonderswan Color, and then I bought the Klonoa package with the regular Wonderswan with Klonoa, which is actually a pretty rare bundle package. And like John said, they bundled a lot of games with the system. But yeah, I got the Klonoa game on there. It's a good system, but like John said, there's all Japanese games for the most part. They're very cheap though.
Yeah, they're cheap, and they kind of look like Game Boy Advance cartridges a little bit. They're interesting. But the thing is, when you start the system, when you start it up, you can go to the menu, and by pressing the start and power button simultaneously, it'll ask for personal information, so you can basically customize it. It'll ask for your name, your birthday, year, month, day, your sex, which I always say yes, please. But and also asks for your blood type, which is really random. Like, why would it want to know your blood type?
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's weird.
It's the most absurd shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's for diabetics. Maybe you can like poke yourself with it or something like that. I don't know what that's for. But no,
that sure is a wonder.
It's a Wonderswan. Look at this guy with the puns, man.
Wow,
today.
what's up?
That's pretty. That's funny. The Wonderswan. Gaming Peace Tita.
Thank you, Gamester 81.
Johnny, do you have a love talk picked out?
Oh man, they're not very good. I'm disappointed with the love talk questions. Yeah. They're all the same. They're always about anal sex.
Well, that's all you talk about.
You encourage that. That's what you encourage.
You always talk about your anal Canadian intrusion.
I want to hear some follow-up stories. I want to hear people who've asked for Love Talk and they've taken your advice and see how it's worked out.
Yeah, some follow-ups would be great.
Follow-ups would be awesome.
Send in an audio response to Jason.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, how about that? Like, I'll be honest here. This is going to sound terrible, but some of these questions I'm not really down with. Send in an audio question. Make it real, and I'll answer it real. I like that.
Yep.
You know,
or even a follow-up audio question.
Yeah.
If you've taken Dr. Love's advice, we want to hear about it.
Make sure to failures. We want to hear your.
We want to hear good and
Listen
bad.
to me, they're going to be failures.
I think it'd be hilarious to have an episode where people call in for Love Talk, kind of like Love Talk, like Love Line, where people talk to Dr. Love. That'd be hilarious to have an episode like that. But
the email, guys, because we haven't said this in a while, and I've actually been getting some PMs about people wanting to know. The email to send in audio questions, Love Talk, follow-up audio questions, all that. Contact at allgengamers.com.
Be one of the first to ask an audio question to Love Talk. Be one of the first to do it.
Mm-hmm. But let us just say, though, if you send in an audio question for Love Talk or an audio response, it's not guaranteed to be played on the show. Like, if it's blatantly stupid and made up, probably not going to use it, especially with the responses and stuff.
But if it's
I'm a pretty good judge.
Then it will.
I think the sincere ones are the best ones.
Definitely.
Yeah. Totally. Don't be embarrassed if you can type. If you can be a keyboard warrior and to type in love questions in the actual form, do it in an audio question. It'll make it more real and it'll be more entertaining. Mm-hmm. You'll have more fun with it. We'll have more fun with it. The audience will have more fun with it.
And if you'd like to remain anonymous, that's fucked up, but you sure can.
Yeah, just call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. We don't have to.
We'll call you the user. The users
from user 103.
User 103. Awesome. How about you, Mr. Gamestopper? Do you have a GameStop story this week?
You know what I do?
Oh,
I do.
It's a pretty epic story.
I was in GameStop, and I went in there because I got a gift certificate for GameStop for my birthday. So I'm gonna go buy some games. Walked up in there and I'm looking around and I asked on my Facebook, I was like, well, what should I get, guys? What do you recommend, right? Well, Pete had recommended a long time ago for me to get MAG on PS3. And so I knew I was getting that one. I was going in for that one. So I went in there and I picked up MAG. I saw it there, like $17 used or whatever. Picked that up. I grabbed a Hot Wheel game, a Need for Speed Nitro. I picked up some other little racers on the Wii. Anyway, so I'm standing there browsing around because I like to take my time and I'm thorough. I like to look around, and I overhear the guy, the employee at GameStop, they're talking to a customer, another guy there, and they were just shooting the shit, just chit chatter platter. Oh man, they were talking about everything. The guy went up to the counter and he's ready to get, ready to ring him up and check out. And you guys know what happened next. You know what the employee at GameStop said.
Make a reservation?
No.
Can we all chime in together? Yes.
Yeah. Like to reserve anything?
Anything you'd like to reserve.
Pre-order.
Yeah, pre-order. And he goes, because just want to let you know, if you pre-order something, it really helps me out. See, what's going on is we're doing a little competition between the stores. And if I get, a lot of pre-orders, then the district managers have to come into the store and they're going to work for the evening while we all get to go out to dinner and they have to pay.
Oh my God.
So if you could really help me out and pre-order as many games as possible, that would be awesome. I am not lying. This is verbatim. That's exactly what he said.
So fucked up.
That is what he said.
Now, hold on, Tony. Have you ever done anything like that when you were working at Game Station?
Not at all. No. It was really nice. People always write to me on Facebook saying they ask for promos and stuff, and people tell them to go away. I would never do that. I'm nice. I
know, and I'm back there I'm in the back there in the Wii section, just like I'm shaking my head, going, I cannot believe that he is actually trying to upsell this customer to help him. What the fuck, So I'm sitting there shaking my head, and he goes, well, there's really nothing that I'm interested in. Oh, wait, there's a new guitar game coming out. It's called something Smith, and I'm in the back going, I know he's talking about Rocksmith, that's coming out. And he goes, oh, yeah, Rocksmith, yeah. He goes, yeah. He goes, let me look that up real quick. And I hear him type in, and he goes, if you pre-order that right now, we're going to also give you a $20 gift card to Guitar Center. And the guy's like, oh, well, $20 a Guitar Center doesn't really go that far, He's like, yeah, but I'm just letting you know, that's the promo that you get and this and that. He's like, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and pre-order it. So they're doing the deal, they're writing it up. And I'm just sitting there going, I cannot believe that he is trying to upsell this guy and like help me out. What the fuck? Who says that to any customer? Who does that?
Would never do that.
After he pre-ordered it, he goes, is there any other games that you're interested in? Maybe any others you could help me out? You can only put $5 down, on anything else. And the guy's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And then this is the kicker, guys. This is the kicker. He said this, and I'm not joking.
This is the employee saying this?
This is the employee saying this to the customer. And he said, now you do know that if you don't pre-order these games, I can't guarantee that I'm going to get any of them in my store.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, so, it's kind of hit or miss. I don't know, so if you want to pre-order it now, that will guarantee that we're going to get it in the store here for you. And I'm about shitting myself back there going, I cannot believe this clown.
Yeah.
I can't believe he would say that.
What it sounds like to me is like when you go get your car wash and those guys with the chip windshields and stuff.
That's it.
And it's totally like those, they're so like, oh my God, looks like someone took a machete, like a machine gun to your windshield. You need to replace. Come on. And you tell them no, but then they're like, oh man, come on, only take some. They don't take no for an answer.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And they make
We
commission
need an
on
oil change, and this doesn't look good. We need to change this fluid.
right. No, exactly. That's what it is.
Just real briefly on that. That happened to me at a place over here.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's not my car and I don't want to have it done. And he started to put the suction cup thing on.
Oh,
and I go, no. I like when I pulled in, he stuck it on there and I go, I don't want it. It cracked. The windshield cracked. And you should have seen his face. I go, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And he pulled it off and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I go, dude, you didn't even, I'm in the car shaking my head. No, I hadn't gotten out the car yet.
Yeah.
And you did that. And I had to pay out of my deductible and get a new windshield. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
So they didn't do anything for me. They gave me a couple free car washes. Anyway, different story, different time.
We should have like instead of GameStop, we should have car wash.
Car wash stories. So anyway, I went up to the counter and he started going on his bullshit, and I stopped him dead in his tracks. I go, dude, I already heard your whole spiel to that other dude. And I said, don't even bother with me. I said, I'm not here to help you out. I'm not here to pre-order any games. I'm not here to buy you dinner. I said, just ring me up and I'm going to leave. I have a gift card. Here it is. And I'm done. And here's my Power Up Rewards card. Give me my points.
So you can get your bag of chips.
And get my bag of fucking Fritos. And that was it. He didn't say anything to me. He just rang me up and I walked out the door. And it was just like, man, I can't believe it. But that's the problem, is that guy basically got taken advantage of. Whether he wanted to pre-order or not, he was feeling guilty, and he did. Ultimately, he could have said, no, I don't want it. It's not like he was forced into doing anything. But, right. He was upsold like crazy. And a lot of people, we're not in there to help them get a free dinner from their general managers. They need to be in there teaching their employees how to do a damn thing. So that was kind of frustrating. So those are tales from the Gamestopper.
Jason, I have some. You've got to create a beautiful opening to your segment.
Yeah, you do.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I gotta think about that. I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Something bad happened to me this week as well in a game. I bought Capcom Classics Volume 1, and I got home, opened it up, and it had Capcom Classics Volume 2 in it. And I went back to the store and said, have you got the other disc or anything like that, or can I get a refund? And it basically said no, but you can have store credit. I was like, damn. So now my money is like binded to this place. I have to spend it in here. And it was them that fucked up. So
that sucks.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
Wow. That sucks.
Hey,
well, I got to go into GameStop once a week now.
That reminds me, Tony, you triggered my memory about another game I've been playing this week. It's and I picked this up at the pawn, the swap meet as well.
Store?
I was gonna say pawn shop, but
porn store. Where?
Johnny, we played the Pinball Hall of Fame midway in PAX. Remember that for the PS3?
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Randy's PS3 was it? Yeah,
big fan of that game. So I was really surprised to see this version out. It's the Gottlieb collection for the PS2, and I paid $3 for it. So it's got 7 classic pinball machines on it, and it's a really lot of fun for $3. You can't go wrong.
I said, you just reminded me. I have that on the Wii. I didn't even open it up. I forgot all about it.
It's a fun game. It's if you've been to pinball, My only thing I don't like about it is that they don't really have many like 90 machines in there. It's mainly like a lot of 70s and 60s and maybe 80 pinball machines, but it's great. It's good stuff, man. That's what I've been playing.
That's like my biggest shame. I've never even touched a real pinball machine in my life.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck off the podcast right now.
I'm just kidding, Yippee T. We love you.
Yeah. Wow. So aren't pinballs not very big in England then, huh? Or never were?
They are around, and there are some like fans of it, but I've just never had the opportunity, which is kind of sucky. I remember seeing them when I was little, but I was always on the Street Fighter cabinets or something like that. So I don't know. I've never even touched one, literally. But I enjoy nearly every pinball game I've ever played on consoles. So I really should look into finding somewhere that has one.
The funny thing about this game also is it talks about the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas that I've been to a number of times. So
what year did that game come out? Fairly
mid 2000s, I think. 2005 maybe.
How long did Pinball Hall of Fame been there?
It's been around for a while. They moved locations, but I think it's been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Tony, when you come to the States, I'm taking you to a pinball machine.
Yeah.
We're
It's
playing.
a date.
Take them to castles and coasters, dude.
Super.
Yeah.
I never. Yeah, I just. You know what? I like pinball. Actually, I started. Here's the thing. I actually never really liked pinball. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. I was very indifferent about it until Spider-1A started to do his reviews, and I was like, "Wow, this guy's so passionate about it."
Mm-hmm.
And so he did such great reviews that I became kind of a little bit more fascinated by it. And then watching that documentary the other night, Gamestopper, it was called When Lit.
Yeah, Special When Lit.
Special One Lit. That was very good. And I just got to learn a little bit more about pinball that I didn't really know. I don't want to sound terrible here, but I kind of just thought, well, it's a ball that goes up and you hit little flippers. You know what I mean? Like, I always kind of thought there's not a lot to it. I always thought it was chance. I thought it was more chance than it was skill, but it would appear there's a lot of skill in the game. There actually is.
There's a lot of skill, yeah.
Yeah. I never realized that because I never had any skill playing it. It's just like me and Killer Instinct. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's good stuff.
I become more fascinated in pinball machines now.
I guess since we're on a roll with segments, I'll quickly do the world premiere of my segment of game recommendation of the week. And I already have about 8 or 10 something responses in the form for it. So if you would like to suggest or ask me for some game recommendations, just make sure that you read the rules that I posted in the first post, because I want you guys to be specific as possible. That will help me in deciding what game you should check out. But the post that I'm going to pick out here is from the Gamers01, and he says, "Hey Pete, I've been waiting for let's see, the specific system I would really like."
Hey, just a side note too, Pete. Guess what? I know this guy. Guess where he's from?
Where?
Australia.
Oh, okay. No, it's a really long post, and I know we're kind of strapped for time here. It's actually the longest post in here, so let me read through this fast. The specific system I would really like a game recommendation for is the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. I'm especially interested in RPGs and rail shooters, for example, Rez. Like many other gamers, I really enjoy the Final Fantasy series for the traditional combat system and amazing storyline. I've also recently picked up Rogue Galaxy and Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, the first Dragon Quest game to be released in the PAL region, and have found them both to be a unique experience for both their cel-shaded graphics and unique gameplay. So as you can see, I'm a follower of Squaresoft / Square Enix / Level 5 titles. The thing I dislike most about RPG is the terrible soundtrack. Being in a battle is so much fun. I want audio to keep me going. It keeps me drawn and wants me to keep going and get back. I would really like a recommendation for a game that will give me a good number of hours play, 25 to 35 hours, one that has a unique graphical style and a plot line with characters that are interesting and have voice actors that make you cringe when they're speaking dialogue or yelling battle cries. Rez was an amazing... Well, all right, so that's the first part of his question.
Jesus.
Jeez.
I think maybe go with that one, because that's
Go with that one.
hard enough.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 recommendations on PS2 and 1 recommendation on the PlayStation 1. For the PS2, the first game that came to mind, and it's been mentioned on this podcast quite a few times already by myself and Rob Mann, and Johnny's chimed in on it, and I'd recommend the Shadow Hearts series, specifically Shadow Hearts 1. It's going to give you everything that you're really looking for, a traditional turn-based style with a really unique world, and they don't really have battle cries, so you're going to be a little disappointed in that. Not a lot of voice acting, but it has a great graphical style, great soundtrack to it, very unique and endearing characters, and just the overall feel of the horror RPG. It's very unique. And then as the series goes on, it gets very, very wacky and very Japanese. Like, if you want actually a lot of information on that series, get in contact with Rob, man, because he is big into the Shadow Hearts games. If you've listened to him on the podcast before talking about it. And the other game that I think you'd also really enjoy and kind of fits all of your criteria, Johnny might beg to differ with me, but I would recommend that you check out Grandia 3 on PlayStation 2. Yeah,
Nice.
definitely check out Grandia 2 as well, but to me, 3 might be a little bit more of what you're looking for. To me, it has one of the best, if not, I used to call this actually possibly my favorite RPG battle system out there. The battles are sort of a blend between real time and strategy, and what it has going that 2 didn't really have is sort of like this juggling combo system in the air. So it's a lot of fun. The battles are a lot of fun. It has your battle cries, so they're constantly shouting, the names of their moves, and yes, sometimes they sound quite terrible, but the graphics are also quite impressive, and that's my second recommendation for the PS2. For the PS1, I would recommend that you check out Xenogears, because it's going to be a little bit more than 25 to 35 hours long, but once again, I think it really meets everything that you're looking for. A storyline that is just out of this world. It's
out of this world.
It's unbelievably complex. Yeah, the first time I was playing it, I was a little lost, quite honestly. But if you're looking for like a game on the scale of epicness of Final Fantasy games, and you're into mechs and robots, that's just another thing that'll help you along. The combat system is also quite unique, where you have to do sort of not fighting game-esque moves, but you do have to put in button combinations.
Combos, yeah.
And it's a blend between 2D and 3D, so it's got some great graphical styles, a blend of 2D sprites and 3D
it's
environments.
A beautiful thing, that game. Xenogears is an amazing game.
And I'm going to answer the second part of his question because I can answer it very quickly. And it's very short, his question. He says, Rez was an amazing experience for the PlayStation 2, and with the recent release of Child of Eden, I was wondering if there were any more similar titles to Rez on the 7th generation of consoles. And he says, thanks, Pete, blah, blah, blah. My answer to you is there's not many out there at all, and actually the only one that comes to mind for me is Sin and Punishment Star Successor on the Wii. It's you have a little more control over your character and where he's moving than in Rez and Child of Eden, but it's the closest thing to what you're looking for. An on-rail shooter, excellent graphics, excellent soundtrack. I did a review of it on my channel. Definitely check that out. So thank you, Gamer01, for your long-winded question there. And if any of you guys, like I said, want to Can
I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say, I know you said Grandia 3, but definitely he should try Grandia 1. Did he not say did he play Grandia 1?
That's so weird.
I haven't played Grandia 1, so I can't chime in on that.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm saying, did he play Grandia 1?
He didn't mention anything. He just said Rogue Galaxy, Dragon Quest.
He's going to love the terrible voice acting. It's fantastic. And the combos. I love Grandia 1's combat. I love the music. I love the story. I highly recommend that to him.
It's one of the few RPGs that I have to play.
Grandia 2 is actually my favorite RPG of all time, which is really funny. Weird. the voice acting as well. But,
2 is a really great game. I love 2. But to me, 3, the combat, the characters and such might not be as strong as 2. I really like the characters in 2, but the combat in 3 just really carried me through that game. I was looking forward to battles like 20 hours into that game. So
we never got 3, so I got very depressed about that because 2 is my favorite RPG of all time. I imported Extreme, but that wasn't really.
Yeah, it was a dungeon type of game. Yeah,
that wasn't the same experience.
I recommend to you guys Grandia 1 is very good. That's where it all began from. So. Give that a shot. That's really good. My other recommendation, I have to chime in, Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
I love that game. I know so much hate for Chrono Cross. I'll never understand it.
I think it's a great game, but I cannot deal with the massive amount of characters.
Right? I know you're
I've mentioned it on the podcast before. I cannot get attached to the characters in that game.
Of course not. Yeah,
because you're constantly getting introduced to new characters. It's like you're wandering down, a town, and it's like you see a freaking character just standing there. You're like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
I know. All the characters, the alien. There's so many unusual characters in that game. I think they went overboard. I agree fully, but I think the overall, the story is kind of wacky at the end, but it's a great game. I love the combat. I love the music. I love the characters. I do like the storyline. I know it gets really bizarre near the end, but I highly recommend Chrono Cross. Give it a shot. For the combat is really fun in Chrono Cross. I really enjoyed it back in the day. So, did you ever try that, Tony? Yeah.
No, I was just about to say there's a handful of RPGs that we didn't get that you guys got, and I think you just named every single one of them.
Oh,
kind of sucks.
Well, Tony, make a list. Chrono Cross, Grandia 1.
I've got Grandia 1.
Shadow Hearts.
Yeah, we got Shadow Hearts, but it's really, really hard to find. I was speaking to Pete not long ago about importing the PS2, American one, so I am going to do that. But Grandia 1 I have played, but I got stuck on the last boss, so I've never actually beaten it.
So well, you're close. You get to experience it anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's definitely up there.
It was incredible when it first came out. Yeah, it really was a great fun RPG.
You've got artwork signed, hand drawn. I was so jealous of that. When I saw that video, I was just
that is the greatest thing that I got. I was so lucky. I happened to run into the guy. He's like, I'm walking out of the convention center. He's walking in, and I ran up, and this may sound funny, but I acted like the most pathetic fanboy, because I wanted something from him. I wanted a picture, more than anything. And I said, "Oh, please, I'm such a big fan. Can you please draw me a picture of Justin from Grandia?" And he's looking at me. He's got his sunglasses on, like the total, evil Japanese stares, just like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he's like, I said, please, I'm just a huge fan. I said, Justin? And I'm like, I got this pen and I got this piece of paper. I'm like, draw? And he sat down. And what was great about that was he actually spent a good 10 to 12 minutes drawing. He didn't just kind of quickly do a little sketch and go see ya.
Cool.
He sat down and was like shading the fucking thing. It was amazing. And my other friend who was there, Aaron at the time, he gave me the sketch, and I ran back to my friend who's sitting there, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're going to hate my guts." He's like, "Why?" Because he's a huge Grandia fan. I said, "I just got a sketch of Justin by the character designer." He's like, "Oh, like nerd orgasm going on, right?"
Nerdgasm.
Yeah, it was a chance meeting. And I don't know if you guys, probably not into anime too much, but there's an anime called Wings of Oniamas. I don't know if you probably know it, but I ran into the director of that there, and he actually drew me the main character from that movie. It's a famous Bandai movie. Check that out, Wings of Oniamas, spelled with a.
I'll definitely check that out.
Wait, hold on. I'll search. I'll talk to you about it after. But it's an anime film. It's not based off of a series.
It's an anime film. It actually was more expensive to make than Batman 1 at the time. When they,
because I'm a big fan of anime films. I don't like getting involved in series, but
it's a film. It's a one-shot film, and I highly recommend it. It's a one-of-a-kind movie. They'll never make a movie like that. And the great history of Wings of Oniamas is that it came out, a huge budget to make this movie in Japan, and it absolutely bombed. And just so you know who made it, it's all the guys from Gainax, who later went on to do Gunbuster and Evangelion. So they have a very rich history. I just saw one more thing about this because it's so interesting, is that they went to Bandai. There were a bunch of fans and said, "Listen, we've done a 5-minute demo of what we think we'd like to make a movie out of." And they were just pure fans. They didn't have a studio or anything. And they showed it to Bandai, and Bandai was like, "Oh my God," they couldn't believe what these bunch of fans had put together. So they're like, "You know what? Here's a huge budget. Go make your fucking movie." And
wait, how do you spell the last Oniamas?
Yeah, that's what's so funny. It is HON. I think NEAMI. Yeah. So it's called Royal Space Force. That's another name for it. The Wings of Oniamas. Oniamas is HONNEAMISE. Highly recommend. There's actually a Blu-ray of it, and it's an extraordinary film.
Out in America,
you don't see films like this anymore. Like I won't say anything about it, but it's a bit of a shocking film in a lot of ways. It's very internal. It's about, it's just about a planet, kind of like Earth, but kind of different, about them going into the space race, about them launching the very first astronaut into space. That's the story. That's all I'll say. Highly recommend it.
The budget of the film was 800 million yen.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, yen.
Which at the time was a lot of money.
Which I think is, I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of my yen stuff here, but I think that's $800,000.
No, it was a lot of money. All I remember in my old Animerica is reading that it had a budget the same as Batman. And at the time,
The
it was
Dark
the most
Knight, or
expensive.
what do you mean Batman? Which Batman are you talking about?
The original Batman. So that's when it came out, basically.
Okay.
But it had the biggest budget of an animated film in history at that time. And that was, I'm checking out the release date was in 87. So that's what I remember reading. I read that in multiple sources back in the day. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Check it out, Pete. You'll find it very, very... Don't read the story. You'll ruin it for yourself.
Yeah,
I'll be checking that out.
Yeah, I think I first saw it in 88 on beta. Subtitles.
Wow.
Real quickly, while you're on the subject of Blu-ray anime, I bought a series called High School of the Dead recently. I highly recommend it to anybody that's into zombies and anime. The combination is actually really good. The animation is unbelievable on Blu-ray. It's just, from what I've seen so far, nothing out of this world. There's a lot of like skirt shots and underwear because it's very,
It's a perfect one for you then,
Wait,
Pete.
panties? Panties?
It's a bit perverted, some of the shots in the movie, but the overall tone of the show, it really highly reminds me of...
Wait, is it a show or a movie? I'm asking you this now.
It's a show, 12 episodes, season 1.
Oh, shit. It's a lot to invest.
Yeah. But I'd highly recommend it.
Oh, look at the panties.
I've watched a couple episodes, so...
Tony, it was awesome having you on, man.
Thanks for having me. My voice went there. It was awesome to be on.
No, definitely plug your YouTube show absolutely again.
You can find me on YouTube under Tonyippee, and that is TonyIPPE.
Well, keep up the great work, Tony. Appreciate your time being on the show.
Yeah, I was a bit starstruck at first, actually, because you guys, I'm a big fan of all your channels. And it's Pete. I know Pete quite well now. I know Jason quite well, but I haven't got to speak
we
to...
play quite a bit of games online, so...
Yeah,
We've chatted through PMs on Facebook. That's about it. So it's good to talk, for sure.
For sure,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Definitely have you on again. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll talk to you very soon.
All right, man. Guys, take care.
See you, Tony. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
guys.